Hey guys, what's up? This is Salinger Says, and I'm Salinger.
Why, hello again, Salinger. As always, I am Toglin, Hell's Harlequin, but you may call me Tog. Now, for my viewers out there, you may be wondering why I'm giving this individual so much attention. Well, I've been trying to encourage him to have a discussion with me on my platform.
So, driving to work today, I was listening to Beyonce's Flawless, and she has a line that says, "Bow down, bitches," right? And this got me thinking.
LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking.
A dangerous pastime?
I know.
So, when this song came out, Beyonce caught a lot of flack on, like, is she a feminist when she's telling other women to bow down and also calling them bitches, right?
From my personal experience, that does not sound like atypical feminist behavior.
So, Beyonce's feminism was questioned because of her use of what's seen as a derogatory word for women, as well as the way she's trying to place women, like under her, basically.
Although typical behavior or not, it does get you to question this whole notion of feminist solidarity and sisterhood.
What this got me thinking about, though, is why is it that, or how is it that
I'm guessing that original thoughts are such a foreign experience to you that it makes it very hard to articulate them.
one could question Beyonce's feminism, but also hold revere and like hold in importance and have beloved figures of feminism that were white.
Alright, buddy, you're gonna have to help me out here. What do white women have to do with people criticizing Beyonce's statements and believing they were bad form?
Like Susan B. Anthony, right? But also extremely racist, right? So
So are we talking about the same Susan B. Anthony whose parents were abolitionists, whose family was part of the Underground Railroad, and who started her own anti-slavery campaigning at age 16? Oh, what a horrible racist she was. Now, I will grant you that she did say some rather questionable things, but let me bring up that most despised C word: context. Her statements were mostly about her being bitter about black men receiving suffrage before the women's. Given that she died in 1906, I don't necessarily think it's fair to completely judge her on modern social standards. In her day and age, I'm guessing she was quite progressive.
it's like I don't get it. There's something going on there that I don't understand.
Oh, darling, there's a lot you don't understand.
And I think it's a product of white feminism.
Add white in front of any word, and it makes it evil.
And this is extremely problematic.
It still boggles my mind that anyone would use that word unironically.
And I'm not saying that, like, Beyonce's a perfect feminist. Like, I don't know what is the perfect feminist.
My vote would go to Christina Hoff Sommers.
I consider myself a feminist. Many would call me a male feminist.
What an absolutely shocking revelation that was.
But it's just this idea that, like, that women of color are held to a different standard than white women, right?
You have yet to say anything that really demonstrates that assertion.
And you see this within how we speak of white feminists versus black feminists.
It seems that white women have been weighed in the balances and found wanting.
Despite the fact that and not just black feminists, brown feminists, like Asian women, like it continues, right?
Yes, your type has made it very clear that white women no longer have their place on the progressive stack.
And just the way we talk about them, it's like as though the standard for what it means to be a feminist of color is way higher than what it means to be a feminist who is white.
I would argue the opposite, but I really don't want to defend feminists, so you put me at a very awkward position.
And I think that's the problem is white feminism at the end of the day, which I don't think is feminism.
Well, of course it isn't. You've already established that you are the sole arbiter of who is in the in-group and who isn't.
Because a feminism that works for only a certain class of people is not feminism at all.
You are lucky I'm not a feminist, otherwise I might accuse you of mansplaining feminism for us.
Feminism isn't concerned with just white women. It's concerned with all women.
Well, at least you said all women and not everyone.
And that's the thing about feminism, is that it at one point it started, right?
Okay, it started. And then what?
And it was just for a certain, like, white women were trying to get the right to vote, right? And more freedom.
And that is a bad thing because... Now you need to quit having me defend early feminists. I do not approve of being in this position. To remedy this, I will air my own grievances of first-wave feminism. There was the White Feather campaign, which shamed young men not found in military uniforms, in a war that had very high casualties. Let us not forget the suffragette involvement in the temperance movement, which led to prohibition, and history shows you what a terrible idea that was. So there is legitimate criticisms to be had on early feminists. However, I don't feel that the criticism they are receiving from this gentleman is valid.
But it's grown so much as we've grown as a people, right? So it's had to, and it's been demanded to include women of color, and
don't want to forget about all that intersectionality.
And to go through all their issues, and not just women of color, like women within religions, right? So burqas and how do women in Islam, and what does feminism say about that? And
you rarely hear feminists discussing about how women are forced to wear burqas in certain countries.
And when Western civilizations go into different countries, like countries that aren't as developed, how does feminism deal with these things?
Well, feminists do like to bring up problems in third world countries so they can bully men in first world countries.
It's amazing. You take a class on feminism. It's amazing.
No thank you. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer my brain not to have a thorough washing.
Like, to see just the difficulties involved. And anyways, getting off topic. But my point is that white feminism is not going to save women.
The biggest problem I have with your statement is the very premise that women need to be saved.
The only thing white feminism is going to save is the idea of whiteness plus women. That's it. Because
whiteness plus women equals power plus oppression, which cancels itself out completely.
White feminism isn't even in the end going to work for white women. Because
check your privilege, you cis white women.
People aren't going to get behind that. And as it is, feminism has a bad rap in itself. Of course, anything that goes against the status quo has a bad rap.
Or their bad reputation could have something to do with #KillAllMen, and I'm drinking from my male tears mug.
You can history tells you that MLK hated in his time. Now it's like, oh God, MLK was an amazing person. MLK was an amazing person from day one.
I do agree with that whole not judging people based on the color of their skin.
And so it's just that type of thing. And so my point is that we need to continue to call out white feminism.
I prefer to call out all feminists, not just the white ones. For the color of someone's skin is irrelevant to me, but their terrible ideas definitely require my attention.
That we need to separate a feminism that works for all women and and white feminism. Because white feminism, it's perpetuated by people like Taylor Swift.
Well, in all fairness, Taylor Swift's songs do make her sound like a creepy stalker, so I don't really see an issue with trying to distance yourself from her.
Sometimes, and it's like, to me, like, Taylor Swift is someone who does it, her white feminism is deliberate. There are those who aren't so deliberate, where it just pops up, and this is
also unironically problematic.
Problematic also, right? So
I predicted you would say that even the first time I watched through this video.
we need to call this out and move towards ending that, and move towards a feminism that really, when you look, if you opened a book on feminism, you would see so many colors, and that's what we need.
How very non-inclusive of you to not consider the feelings of the colorblind individuals.
And yeah, so what are your thoughts? Let me know. Comment, share, subscribe. I want to hear about what you think about feminism and what you think about white feminism and a feminism that works for all women. And because at the end of the day, women are the future. I truly believe that. And in order for that to come true, then feminism has to work for all women.
It doesn't work for me, so by your logic, it's already failed.
Because when it works for all women, it'll work for men.
That statement made me quite angry, and with how many mood stabilizers I'm on, that is no easy feat. I would like to bring up the Duluth model of domestic violence as feminist legislations that actively demonizes men, not to mention the feminist protests that actively shut down conferences involving men's issues. Men's issues have nothing to do with feminism other than the fact that feminists generally hinder such things.
And then it'll work for the entire world. Yes. Anyways, so let me know your thoughts. Until next time, stay powerful.
Alright, my lovely viewers, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you think I should continue to try and have a dialogue with Mr. Salinger here. Anyways, I wish all of you a pleasant rest of your day.